Welcome to T-Mobile Arena, where for the next half hour, we're going to talk about the Golden season from your Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, you know, the season defied all expectations, from a winning record to winning the Pacific and the Western Conference final and making it all the way to the Stanley Cup final.
So over this next half hour, we're going to be taking a look back at some of the biggest moments of the season and also the relationship between these players and Las Vegas. But specifically, we'll start tonight with the moment that actually bonded this team with the community forever.
The brand new hockey team had just wrapped a preseason game at T-Mobile Arena. Later that night, and right down the street.
Call the police. Someone's firing a gun up here. Someone's firing a rifle on the 32nd floor down the hallway.
Tragedy struck.
Did they get the shooter?
I don't know. It is not safe. I can guarantee. So he's not safe. I have no idea where he is. Run.
A frantic, hectic night gave way to a morning of shock and sadness.
The number of people that have died associated with this event has increased. Right now we're using the number of 58.
With the city shattered, we vowed to remain Vegas strong. That strength showcased center ice as Las Vegan Derek England comforted a crippled community.
We are Vegas strong.
In the days after 1 October, players visited hospitals, attended blood drives. Faces so fresh, few people even knew who Nate Schmidt and Wild Bill Carlson even were. Strangers consoling survivors. That caring and compassion resonated with fans who were just getting to know their team.
From when they came out to the blood drives and, all that sort of stuff, they really showed their resiliency and how much they love our city. England has been with us here for so long, and, for him to come out and speak at that game, the first home game and stuff, it was just put chills down my back.
As weeks passed, more games played, and the team gained momentum. And Las Vegas gained a reason to smile and cheer again.
They brought everyone together and made everyone just seem to get along, and they lifted our town up.
Vegas Born joined Vegas Strong, a mantra seen citywide.
Thank you guys so much for bringing love into our city.
Who would have guessed that hockey in the desert would offer healing of the heart?
Go Knights, go!
The Vegas Golden Knights have taken us on an incredible journey right from the very first puck drop. And the man behind the vision, of course, is Bill Foley. I had a chance to sit down with the mastermind behind all this, and he says he isn't done. The franchise isn't done, not by a long shot.
I think in terms of multiple Stanley Cups now, not just a Stanley Cup, multiple Stanley Cups. We want to establish a dynasty in Las Vegas, a hockey dynasty. And if we do it right and keep on doing things that we've been doing, we'll have a hockey dynasty here. I honestly believe that we are a fan's second most favorite team across the country, across North America. We're the favorite team of a lot of people, but we're their second most favorite team.
A vision without execution leads to empty results, but that wasn't the case with the Golden Knights. They started turning heads early on. It's hard to come up with 3 moments during the season, but our first has to be this one. Knights beat Tampa Bay on December 19th. The Lightning were sitting on top of the NHL with 50 points, coming to Vegas riding a 7-game win streak, but the Knights proving they belong and can play with any team in the league. Sure enough, Vegas scored on 4 power play goals, including the biggest, with 2.3 seconds on the clock. Knights improved to a league-tying 14-2-1 mark at home. With their dramatic shot by Shea, Vegas wins 7 of 8. Second biggest game, LA Kings. David Perron scored the winning goal at 3:30 in the extra period, his 9th as a Golden Knight. Vegas skates off with a 3-2 win, improving to 25-9-2 on the season. That game will be known as the game that opens up the rivalry with the LA Kings. Then number 3 was the Western Conference clincher. The Golden Knights again relying on somebody to step up, and lo and behold, Ryan Reeves scores his first goal as a Golden Knight. The goal sends the Vegas Golden Knights into the Stanley Cup final.
This season certainly had no shortage of memorable moments.
But there are a couple that really stand out.
Yeah, how about Carlson's between the legs goal? Boy, that was really something to see.
William Karlsson looking for his second short-handed goal in as many nights, and shot, score!
It was one of the season's best and is actually nominated for an ESPY Award. Carlson made the unassisted shorthanded goal against San Jose. It was his 42nd goal of the season, and it will live forever on highlight reels.
Kempe with Toffoli
and of course the play of Marc-Andre Fleury, who really put the team on his back at times and led them right through the playoffs. One of his very best moments, the juggling save. This was in round one, game one against the Kings. Fleury first blocked the shot, then spent a couple of seconds juggling it before ultimately catching it and blocking it.
And many of the spectacular moments were also created by you, the fans. This was the scene outside of City National Arena the morning the Knights left for their first road playoff game in LA.
All right, you know, speaking of the fans, City National Arena really became its own storyline over the course of this season.
Yeah, fans were never really in short supply at that practice facility. In fact, as the team's success grew, so did the demand to get any little part of the action.
And as you guys know, each practice became an event, so much so that they were giving out wristbands to all the fans attending Golden Knights practices, and for some, being there at practice had the chance to become a truly powerful experience.
Now it brings everyone together, even through the hardships that happened, you know, on October 1st. So it's amazing. It's kind of a surreal feeling.
This season was incredible on so many levels, and now there is really tangible evidence of just how special it was.
At last week's NHL Awards, the team was nominated for 4 awards, and they won 4.
Yeah, how about this, guys? It was Carlson, England, Gallant, and of course, George McPhee. They all walk away with hardware.
It wasn't about winning hockey games. It was about competing and playing hard and doing the best they could.
So to the fans, you guys are, best in the league.
The fan support we've got all year has been amazing.
Thank you, Bill Foley, for giving all of us a second chance.
How about William Karlsson this season? The guy scores 43 goals compared to just 6 last year with Columbus, and he takes home the Lady Byng Award, which goes to the player who most exhibits sportsmanship and conduct on and off the ice.
Just being here was pretty awesome, so to win is even better. And kind of speaks for itself for what kind of season we had.
Best in the league.
Still ahead on this golden season, remember the Golden Misfits?
Coming up, John Treach introduces us to a guy who really lives up to the name and what he went through before finding a place to call home.
And how magical it was. It started with LA, went all the way to the final. We'll look back at the Knights' run throughout the playoffs next.
Welcome back to the golden season and the Knights' incredible run right from the very start, and of course that remarkable run through the postseason.
Leaving it off for Smith, walking it back.
The Knights started the playoffs at home against the LA Kings, and it was a series for the ages. Dominated by defense in 1-goal games, when the dust settles, both goalies deserve a bow as the Kings bow out to the Knights, who sweep through in 4 games. That sets up a terrific showdown with the San Jose Sharks. The series was tied at 2 before Vegas runs off 2 in a row and wins the series in 6 games. With a dominating performance by Marc-Andre Fleury in Game 6, 28 saves as Vegas wins at 3-0, which sets up now a Western Conference showdown with the big, fast, talented Winnipeg Jets. Vegas got whitewashed in Game 1, but then it was all Golden Knights. Vegas wins 4 in a row, beating the Jets in Game 5, skating off with the Campbell Cup. But the cup they really want is the Stanley, and that wasn't to be. Vegas ran into a much better team in the finals. Washington Capitals were a talented, better team during this series. After losing the first game, the Caps then beat Vegas in 4, clinching the series, winning the cup on Vegas's home ice. You know, after a while, the nickname Golden Misfits started to stick, and one player, Ryan Carpenter, perhaps wears that badge better than any other player. As 8 Sports Now reporter John Treat shows us, Ryan Carpenter searched high and low before finding a home in Vegas.
From misfits to magic, the Golden Knights were a collection of the unwanted who became unstoppable. Ryan Carpenter's journey to Vegas was longer than most, but he's here, and he's home.
Didn't know if I would get another shot, and so I just tried leaving it all out there.
Ryan Carpenter was sent away by San Jose, waived but not weakened. After not dressing for nearly a month, Carpenter entered the Vegas lineup and laid down the hammer. The 27-year-old found his role and the back of the net. Over a 9-game stretch in February, Ryan rocked the scoreboard for 6 goals.
I think I knew I could contribute at this level, but then once you finally do it, there's a different level of confidence that you have.
Carpenter and the Golden Misfits were not regular season wonders. They continued to be Cinderella in skates through the playoffs. It was both rewarding and redeeming.
We had a good regular season, but that's not going to carry over to the postseason. So it was nice to surprise people. It was also nice to be able to beat my old team when we played them in the second round.
The Golden Knights were assembled with character, men who can be both force and father.
Hockey's just a part of my life, and it's not who I am, and it's just what I do. And so yeah, definitely having a son and is able to kind of take my mind off away from the rink.
Along with being Bo's dad, Ryan is also a knight on a faith-filled crusade.
It's changed my motivation since I became a Christian in college. I think I no longer try to play for myself. I try to play just with a thankful heart.
The good book says, let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything.
I'm proud of the year we had, and a lot of guys had great years even individually, and but we know we're not finished, and we're not, I guess, content with just winning the West. We want to win a Stanley Cup.
John Treach, 8 Sports Now.
You know, Derek England is another Golden Knight who really connected with the community. From that October 1st shooting, his speech right here inside T-Mobile Arena, to winning the Mark Messier Award, which goes to the player who most exhibits leadership on and off the ice.
I think every guy in our sport wants to go to the community they're playing in and get out there and do what they can. I'm sure there's at least a handful of guys just on our team that could be here instead of me.
That's Derek England with Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly.
We still have a lot more ground to cover as we take a look back at this golden season.
Yeah, coming up, Kevin E. Martin's going to take a look at this journey one young fan had with his terrific team.
And we'll meet two guys who don't even live in the country who became known as some of the biggest Knights fans around.
Some of our favorite memories will be from the road meeting with fans. In Los Angeles, the Kings fans were laid back and chilled. Lots of Knights fans made the trip. You could tell because you could hear Knight during the national anthem. Yes, the fans from Vegas even helped us look good.
With the LA Kings, we swept them, 4 games. This year has been more intense, and it does make it more exciting.
I love what they're doing, and hopefully they go to the Stanley Cup.
In San Jose, the fans were a little more serious, and why not? Many of these Sharks fans enjoyed a conference finals trip a year earlier. We enjoyed their hospitality. But nothing compared to the kindness from the fans in Winnipeg. They were white, heckled us a little when we told of the night story, both teams and fans treading where they've never tread before, that is in the Western Final. In the end, Winnipeg did throw up the white towel as we said goodbye to the Jets, and it was on to Washington.
Go Knights, go!
The finals in D.C. were filled with fans starving for fun, just as we were hanging out with our own little street party. It really was a road paved with gold. Some of these Knights fans making every stop along the way, a journey nobody will ever forget.
We learned this year there were fans, and then there were fans.
Right. One young lady became known as the girl with the hat, and she quickly became embedded with the Vegas Golden Knights community.
Yeah, 8 Sports Now reporter Kevin E. Martin has more on a girl named Logan.
Logan, the girl with the hat, is your super fan name, right?
Yes.
So this is the hat, and is Flurry the one who gave you your nickname?
Yes, when we went to practice when no one was ever there and I was in line, he goes, "You're the girl who's always wearing the hat." And so my dad just added Logan to it, and Logan the girl with the hat is just how my name became.
That is so cool. And you were busy. I mean, you were all over the place during the season. I think first was Keely, right? That was so special.
Keely's from Winnipeg, and she missed the Golden Knights going on the bus home from Winnipeg, so she was so sad. And so they started a GoFundMe, and they got enough money for her to fly out here, and we all welcomed her at the airport.
Cy, a huge Golden Knights fan, and I remember seeing him hold up a sign at one of the practices about his open heart surgery, and you became pretty close with Cy, and you even visited him in the hospital.
Well, at practice I saw a sign that said, all I want is to meet Fleury. I'm having open heart surgery in 3 weeks. My dad got close with the mom and he was like, how about we get these two together and Logan visit him in the hospital? And my dad said yes.
So he had the open heart surgery, right? So he's doing pretty good right now. And then recently, we all saw video and pictures of you with Ovi and Bark. How was that? That was pretty cool.
Ovi the Bulldog was in town for the NHL awards. So we gave him, and Bark had a bib on, so every time he would eat a meatball or spaghetti, I'd have to wipe him, but Ovi just got it all over himself, and I didn't feel like wiping it for him.
Are you excited for year 2 to get started?
Yeah, me and my dad, whenever we're bored, we'll just sit on the couch and watch NHL Network, even though it's not hockey season.
If you could describe this season in one word, what would it be?
Crazy.
The team didn't have many low points in the season, and by the playoffs, people around the world knew about our Knights, including a duo from Winnipeg who wanted to send a message when the Knights were down 3-1 against the Capitals.
They said, you can't make the playoffs. You guys can't win the division. You can't beat the Kings, the Sharks, the Jets. They said you can't win 3 in a row. Well, guess what? We can. We're here and it's happening. Yes, we can.
YouTubers Justin and Greg posted that video. The two are die-hard Knights fans and join fans from nations around the world in pulling for our team.
The players and our fans absolutely love Coach Gerard Gallant.
And Gallant invested in this organization from day one, and it all started with team owner Bill Foley and general manager George McPhee.
Yeah, you know, at the NHL Awards, Gallant won Coach of the Year, and he credited his players for that award.
They did an unbelievable job with the expansion draft, and that's where it all started. And I think George said it many times, we're gonna try and get good people to be in our organization. I think they did an outstanding job with that. And then we had a lot better hockey players than a lot of people thought we did. And they worked hard every day. Like I said in my speech, they come in every morning, they worked 110%.
We still have a lot of really unique things to look back on as we recap this golden season.
Still ahead, from Pomeranians to police dogs, and one that found himself in the middle of just about everything. We'll show you what happened when the season really went to the dogs.
Many fans in Las Vegas didn't have a keen knowledge of hockey prior to the Knights, but as Ron Futrell shows us, that all changed, starting with Vegas Born.
Pass, here's Mattel, 4 men on the attack for Vegas.
Hockey, like all sports, has a language of its own, so we took it to the Knights players to find some answers. First off, and most important, lighting the lamp.
Lighting lamp means scoring a goal. It's when the red light goes on behind the net.
Pretty happy about that when that happens on your end.
Yeah, you can say, yeah, I do. I like a little celebration afterwards, so it's fun.
Colin Miller, lead pass out of well, it's tough, coming towards the net, scores!
That's a good thing when you're on offense.
When you're on your offense and you light the lamp, it's a good thing. If it's in the D zone and you hear like the light lamp, you don't want that.
Then there's this. It doesn't happen as often as it used to, but dropping the gloves.
That's your terminology for when you want to engage in fisticuffs with another willing combatant on the other squad.
Do you have that conversation with him?
Yeah, sometimes you do. Sometimes it just happens.
From there, we turn to a phrase that's important to this team, this town, and this time. Vegas Born.
We are showing everybody here that even if we are not old from here, this is our town right now.
Vegas Born is the first pro sport in this city, and being able to come together with this city and be a part of it.
From the ground up, that's what we are. From the way that I think that's just our team in a nutshell.
For me personally, it's me starting my full-time NHL career here, and that's me personally being Vegas born, I guess you could say, and I'm really proud to be Vegas born.
Vegas born is a term that I'm not born in Vegas, but I use it gladly just because this is my city, and I'm here to defend it.
Now sure, the players were the stars and the fans were the heart, but oftentimes during the season, everything really went to the dogs.
Not long after the season started, our Golden Knights were helping find homes for more than 150 Pomeranians found in a truck in Sandy Valley. They held a Pucks for Paws event and raised about $20,000 for the Animal Foundation and held a live auction for some of the rescued dogs. A little later in the season, we meet Knight. He's Metro's newest canine member. He gave a great demonstration of taking down a shark. The Maloof family, part owners of the Golden Knights, offered to pay for Knight and said they were happy to keep the healing process moving after 1 October. And who could forget Marc-Andre Fleury? The 10-year-old Jack Russell Terrier started the season with a few appearances on social media. By the time the season was done, Marc-Andre was seen all over town, even at Channel 8 Studios in his custom jersey. He became a fixture at practice and even got to meet his namesake.
At the end of the season, we knew there wouldn't be a parade, but there was definitely a party. The team held a stick salute at Fremont Street Experience earlier on this month. It was a chance for players and others who work with the team to say thank you to the fans, and a chance for the fans to thank the team. Fan appreciation was really evident at last week's NHL Awards, with chants of "Go Knights Go" throughout the ceremony.
Yeah, and they say save the best for last, and they certainly did that with the General Manager of the Year.
Yeah, of course, General Manager George McPhee brought it home with his award, and he certainly sums it up best.
It was just an extraordinary year in all of our lives.
You know, it really has been quite a ride, and 8 News Now has been there for every step along the way.
Now, we don't know what the future holds, but we do know one thing, that this first inaugural season, with all of its wonder and magic, may never be repeated.
And as we leave you tonight, we take one more look back at this golden season from your Vegas Golden Knights. Thank you for watching, and good night.
At 10 p.m. last night, we started receiving calls of an active shooter at the Route 91 Harvest Festival.
Where are you now? Are you safe? Are you in a safe location? It's 911. Yeah.
Chief, we're currently loading patients into private vehicles. We have no more ambulances.
There was just so much joy there.
I saw that crowd. I saw them with boots in the air. And what I saw, that moment in time that was frozen, there's no amount of bullets that can take away.
I'll ask the God of infinite wisdom, why you and why not me?
Don't let these guys win. Don't be afraid to come here. This city is safe as any other city in the world.
What will define us is all the courageous and heroic and wonderful people that stepped up to help the friends beside them, their loved ones.
To the families and friends of the victims, know that we'll do everything we can to help you and our city heal.
It brings the city together.
From when they came out to the blood drives.
Even through the hardships that happened, on October 1st.
They really showed their resiliency and how much they love our city.
It just really hit home.
It wasn't we want to win, we need to win for the city and everyone here.
Put in front, they score! Rebound! Score! Closing in, then he scores! More magic at T-Mobile Arena!
227 days after their first regular season game in franchise history, the Vegas Golden Knights are headed to the Stanley Cup Final.
This whole city was so somber and quiet.
No one should be disappointed to where we are right now.
The team really stepped up, even before they had ever played a game, and we will never forget what they did for Las Vegas.
This Vegas-born team is proud to help, will always help, and we will, as a community, always be Vegas strong.